Hello, my Skrills. And today we are talking about something a little different. Today we're talking about Hollywood. Why are we talking about Hollywood? Well, I'll tell you why in just a bit, my laddies, because it's gonna be one crazy ride. Alright, zoom back all the way to 1930s. Or the 1920s, based on your general opinion. Okay, so of course, Hollywood has boomed in this era, and people will sometimes refer to the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the golden age of Hollywood. Of course, then it fizzled, and we didn't really get that golden age until like the 80s and the 90s. The 2000s came along. Well, but still, people really love classics. I mean, like, you have Jurassic Park, Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, The Lion King, and like many others, and also Gujira. But there's a common consistency that people think that reboots suck. Well, I mean, like, sure. I mean, like, some reboots do suck. Okay? In fact, let's pull up the definition of a remake or reboot. For a movie, it is a movie that has been filmed and is re-released, but is different. Or just making something again, but different. Basically, the remake is basically like rehashing the same story, but adding new things. I mean, like, but you're asking, Nicholas, when did reboots start? When did reboots become popular? When the hell did reboots become popular? Well, you can thank the 2000s for this popular trend. But there also might be another catalyst for this, and that is the different Godzilla eras. But you might be asking, but Nicholas, that's just like different eras. And I do agree, because like, and although, like, you are changing the character design, you are changing the story, you're changing the overall layout, you're changing countries, you're changing themes, but you still lay true to what the original set true. And really, this works like a continuous series more than just than Heisei, Millennium, and Reiwa just being reboots. But the first ever reboot that probably if you Goji fans know, you know. Let's talk about Godzilla 98. So, yeah, this movie sucked. Ham. Yeah, critics didn't like it, and this basically was the low bar set for reboots. Basically, it made minimal box office because it had a high budget, and yeah, pretty much the tranquil set for a reboot. You gotta make money. Doesn't matter about the quality. Now, of course, the first ever reboot that I was exposed to, and this is emphasizing me, like, this is me, like, I was exposed to this, is the, I kid you not when I say this, James Gunn directed Scooby-Doo movie. Yeah. Now, where have I heard that name before? Is he the guy that basically directed those beautiful Guardians of the Galaxy movies? And the new Suicide Squad movie? Yes. Basically, he brought us a goodish movie, and it did actually bring in some moolah. Keep that in mind. And the budget was pretty low. You could pretty much tell because of the way it looked. Because the CGI in that film, it just does not matter. Now, of course, the second one, well, they somewhat increased the budget. What was the budget, actually? Well, somewhere between $25 to $80 million. And it only made $181.2 million at the box office. Now, of course, taking it into perspective, it's like give or take, like, if it was 80 million, then, oh boy, it didn't make ends meet. And if it was still 25 million, yeah, still didn't make ends meet. And I'm surprised that's 4 million less than the budget that they had in the first movie, but yet again, this movie still looks good. Maybe people like it more than the first one, but yet again, people don't like it. Okay, let's talk about another reboot. Oh yeah, the Spider-Man trilogy reboot. The Amazing Spider-Man. The Amazing Spider-Man. Okay. So we all know Andrew Garfield. He was the star of a 2012 movie called The Amazing Spider-Man. It got good box office, but got some reviews. So they decided to basically make some things better in the sequel. Still was bad and did not get any moolah. So yeah, straight to the dump with you. Also, the DCEU, and while the MCU could be considered a giant reboot in itself, I wouldn't really consider that. This is also really not, and also TV cannot escape from this as well. Yeah. TV reboots. Yeah, there's a bunch of these, and some of these don't go well. So, for like examples, well, I mean, like, you could just name any one of those TV series. DuckTales is an obvious one. What else is there? I think Family Guy actually got a rebooted TV series, and also many other TV series, and like they're mostly animated TV series. But I think like the best TV series reboot was the Animaniacs reboot. Now this is a hot take, but let me explain. Let me actually like. Now you see, the Animaniacs reboot is actually pretty good because you see, while people may just look at it as just another tongue-in-cheek reboot, it actually was put in. Well, it was actually given special care. In fact, if you take a look at this picture from the old designs to the new designs, little has changed. Like they want to make this reboot like good, and the reboot is good. I do recommend you go checking it out on Hulu, and the reason why the Animaniacs reboot works, it's because that it actually fits within the modern day. I mean, like, if you think of it, if you actually like think of it, if you just like think of it in general, like the original Animaniacs was like about criticizing like things of the modern day and also like poking fun at issues in the 90s and also other movies from like old Hollywood. The 2020 reboot of Animaniacs actually makes sense because they're still poking fun at modern events like Donald Trump, Putin, the Russians, the 2020 election, Uber, Amazon drones. I mean, like, they make like a whole song about reboots. Like, they make a whole song about them. And I kid you not, although it is catchy, it does actually expose reboots. You see, reboots are just not about, well, making your old classic childhood. No. They're about the moolah. They're about the money. And let me just take a brief comparison to something that basically people will call like something that that people call classic. Disney's Cinderella. I mean, like, we all love it. It's got a good Rotten Tomato score. It's got good critic reviews. And somewhere here is its box office. I mean, like, this is not like the real box office numbers, but it still made some good money. Now, let's zoom ahead like 70 years later. Was it 70 years later? Yeah, 70 years later. No, that's 65 years later. Let's zoom ahead 65 years later and look at the 2015 reboot. Okay, the Rotten Tomato score and critic reviews are lower, but the box office? Oh, honey, it made more than the original. I mean, like, this made more than the original movie. But while it is good, it is actually it is pretty dang good. But this is another example that I'm pretty sure pretty much majority of people know that is bad. Okay, The Lion King. I mean, like I mentioned about it earlier, it's a cherished film. It's good. It's got a nice Rotten Tomatoes score. It's one of the best films of all time. And also, it did make a good box office. Now, of course, if you were to type up box office for The Lion King 1994, it will say $1 billion. Like, it will say $1 billion for the live action for the animated Lion King. But if you change that to the 2019 one, yeah, despite if it's $1 billion or not, it still made a tad bit more than the original. And some people even call this the highest grossing animated film of all time. But the critics did not like it because it was just the same story rehashed with the original Lion King is an hour and 28 minutes. It's a good popcorn flick. You could sit through it and it'd be done in an instant. The reboot decided to add 32 minutes of extra content that was not asked for at all. Sure, fleshed out some of the characters. Sure. All that it matters if that, and also it had A-lister celebrities. If you think of it, it had A-list celebrities that if you see their names, you'd be like, oh, this is gonna be good. You go into the theater, you come out, and then Why did I waste my money on that? Oh, wait a minute. I can't take my money back. It's already in Disney's money bank. Yeah, and this is the problem with like reboots and all that stuff. It's all about money. It's all about the money. I mean, like the 2017 It reboot, the the 2000 the 2015 Fantastic Four reboot. They all wanted money, but whether they succeeded or not, they did not succeed. And of course, while some reboots are actually praised, like the recent like the like the Rise of the Planet of the Apes trilogy, I mean, like that is good. Like, go see that, please, for the love. There's also and also horror is very synonymous with reboots, and so is the action genre. Tom Cruise's The Mummy, which was supposed to be a reboot of the original 1999 Mummy, it not only was critically panned, it also made less than the original. Now, I'm pretty sure everyone knows this reboot. The Ghostbusters 2016 reboot. Now, of course, this is actually something very interesting. Now, I want you to take a look at the box office, okay? Okay, so didn't make that much. It had a big budget against it, but look at the critics' consensus. They think it's okay but good. However, people hated it. Even the president, Donald Trump, posted online about his criticisms with the 2016 reboot. Now, of course, zoom ahead to Afterlife, the true sequel to the original two Ghostbusters movies. And while it is good reviews, look at the Rotten Tomatoes score. It's less than Afterlife. Afterlife has less than the 2016 reboot. Basically saying, go see this modern one. Go see it where females just screw around, and also you get to see them just be comedy stars. Yet again, it will have A-listers, and it's just not good. Dan Aykroyd, who played Ray's Stans in the Ghostbusters franchise, when the 2016 reboot came out, he admitted that it was bad, and who directed it? Paul Feige. What a weird name. He says he's not coming back. He's not coming back. To just show how, the original two Ghostbusters movies were directed by Ivan Reitman. He understood the Ghostbusters franchise. And actually, when Afterlife came out, you know who directed Afterlife? His son, Jason Reitman. And that should tell you alone that film has more creativity and love put into it. It even reused some special effects. Reused some old stuff from the original. It was just the best of modernizing the Ghostbusters, but also kindling it towards fans of the original Ghostbusters. And honestly, they're doing a sequel to this film. They're making a fourth Ghostbusters movie, which I'm actually surprised. And also, this movie actually did well at the box office, rather than Ghostbusters 2016. You see, while Ghostbusters 2016 had a big budget, Ghostbusters Afterlife actually had a small budget, and it ended up making ends meet. It made a nice $204.4 million. Now, of course, the Ghostbusters 2016 reboots. And the Ghostbusters 2016 reboots budget was exceedingly high. In fact, $144 million. No, it only made $229.1 million back. That doesn't make ends meet. That's because that they relied on pretty much high-lister celebrities that probably cost a lot. I mean, like, Chris Hemsworth is in this film. Don't mess with my Thor. This is probably why he enjoyed Ragnarok more than just this reboot. Ugh. Don't mess with Chris Hemsworth. I mean, like, this reboot is bad. And, yeah, people hate it. People, like, hate it. I hate it. I mean, like, I hate it. I don't want any more of it. Okay, other examples of reboots. Godzilla 2014 is actually a reboot. And the critics actually kind of liked it, and it got a good box office number. Fans actually kind of liked this as well. However, they didn't feel like it was their traditional Godzilla movie. I mean, like, go to Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, like, sure, the critics liked it. The critics actually liked it. In fact, it's certified fresh. But if you go to the audience score, sure, it's good, but they just don't like, Kindle toward it. I mean, like, it's not that good. I mean, like, it's light years better than this. I mean, like, this is like certified rotten. The audiences hated it. The critics hated it. And, I mean, like, I can't help but feel that the actors hated what they were doing. And yeah, and something funny that I just found. Literally, there's like one good review on this movie, and it's not even a top critic. Like, all the top critics, like, they hated it. This one. Yeah, movie sorely misses the quicker charm of Independence Days, Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum, and the story never captures the heart. And by the way, Independence Day. Yeah. Apparently it had a reboot as well. And I can only guess that, okay, yeah, it was bad as well. Yeah. Honestly, nah. Okay, so what you be saying there is that the movie does not have, like, the charm of the original Independence Day. Like, Independence Day is actually kind of a good film, and it's a good film because, like, it's a popcorn flick, it's a popcorn flick. You can watch it. I mean, like, it's an oh my god movie. Like, it's an oh my god movie. Like, it does have some following. I mean, like, it had it was impressive. It had, like, a good cast. It was pretty much a film that was actually kind of good. Now, go back to Godzilla 98. It doesn't have that same praise. Godzilla 2014 does have that praise that the 94 film should have had. Now, of course, Godzilla King of the Monsters, the sequel to the 2014 reboot. Do you expect that? Now, of course, I want you to guess between these two answers. A, it had a better story than 2014, has got great critic praise and box office success, and fans absolutely loved it. Or B, fans loved it, but the critics hated it, and it had a poor box office review due to Endgame's popularity. If you guess B, you're right. Only the audience loved it because it had the nostalgia bone. See, the reason why reboots exist because they want to tickle our nostalgia bone. They want to tickle it, and of course, it will cough up money because they just want to get the money done. But sadly, it did not have a good box office record. It was going up against a $170 budget, and it only coughed up like $386.6 million of the box office. I mean, like, sure, people will hate this. I mean, like, you can have your opinions, like tomato, but I mean, like, that's the same consensus with like other reboots. Like another another great example of like rebooting. Like it's the Jurassic World trilogy. I mean, like it. I mean, like if you just like the Jurassic World films, like the Jurassic World movies, like Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, Jurassic World Dominion. I mean, like, Jurassic World, like the first Jurassic World movie made more than $1.6 billion at the box office, which means that it was a absolute banger. And so they decided to like, hey, let's pump out a sequel. That sequel made about less, but still put up to ends meet. Dominion, well, it's too late to call at this point. I mean, like, I'll try. Yeah, it's already a success. But, of course, the Jurassic World movies have had decreasing critic... Well, basically, critics have not been nice to them. Basically, this is like Jurassic World. This is its downward slope of the franchise. Like, this is like the quality that they're going. This is Fallen Kingdom, and this is Dominion. Yeah, right here. But they're still gonna make money. They are still gonna make millions upon millions, even sometimes $1 billion. I mean, like, it doesn't care how good the movie is. It's just that let's make a movie that is a reboot of a popular movie, and let's just see how much moolah we can get in the vault. This is also the consensus for toys and merchandise as well. I mean, like, if you look at the Hammond collection, I mean, like, it's stuff from previous movies, like The Lost World, Fallen Kingdom. It's gonna tickle your nostalgia bone, and it's gonna want you to buy them. I mean, like, sure, they have great articulation, and they have accurate paint sculpts, and they're from your childhood, but they're just gonna end up taking money out of your wallet because they want you to give them money. And we're not gonna stop doing that. Same for SH Monster Arts. I mean, like, sure, it's probably for, like, the collectors that wanted, like, a good articulated figure. I mean, like, sure, this is, like, high premium quality. I mean, like, you get, like, elbow joints, like, you get wrist twists, you get, like, an articulated head. You can get, like, waist movement, barely, and a fully articulated tail, but still, the price point is like somewhere in the $90 to $100. I mean, like, these things on Amazon, like, sometimes they can cost like $1,000 online. Like these things, like, they're like, and if it's from a reboot, and it's like, hey, here's a toy from a recently released movie that's from a reboot, and it's from a previous toy line from that movie, you're gonna be like, oh, that toy looks better, let me buy it for me, or, oh, my kid wants it, let me buy it. Literally, it's the same with every single goddamn movie. Like, people are not gonna go see a movie just because they just want something good out of it. They want to see a movie. They want to see a movie because they want to see it just for the fun of a movie experience. But right now, this has turned into the movie wars, where basically we're just trying to see who can gross the most money in a single weekend. Yet again, movie reboots are the subject of just poor writing that translates to big bucks. I mean, like, the most common catalyst for this is the Disney reboots. Because consistently the Disney live action remakes are literally just like, I mean, like, look at this. Look at this. This is the box office at, like, this is like all the remakes that Disney has made in like a great span. I mean, like, sure, some of them are re-releases and some of them are just like, well, duh, like, but still, like, these movies, they make like so much money, like they make so much money that it doesn't care if the story is dry. It doesn't care if the story is just a rehash. All Disney cares is that if it's gonna make money, it's gonna make money. I mean, like, if you go on Rotten Tomatoes, I mean, like, sure, the first reboot they technically make was The Jungle Book, but it really started with the 101 Dalmatians. The sequel got less critical praise. Yet again, same with Dallas, same with Maleficent. The first actual good one was Cinderella. But yet again, it made moolah. Yet again, Jungle Book made moolah, but still was good. Arguably, could be better than the original Jungle Book. But then they dipped back down with Alice Through the Looking Glass. Pete's Dragon actually was really good, surprisingly. I actually went to go see that, and it's still good. Yet again, Beauty and the Beast, Christopher Robin, good. Dumbo, not good. Aladdin, not good. Yet again, these are the reboots. They don't care about the ratings. They care about how much money they're gonna make. And I feel like I'm repeating myself when I say this. Movies make money so companies can stay afloat. Other reboots, like God, like, there's so many of them. Like, yet again, like even like classic TV series, like Alvin and the Chipmunks, like Hanna-Barbera cartoons. Like, I just explained, like Scooby-Doo, like even the Jetsons, the Flintstones, like no one is safe from this. Like sure, people might say, oh, it might be for the benefit, but my God, like, why? There's also, like, the topic of video game movies, but that's another can of worms for another day to rant on about. And yet again, they will do anything to promote this movie. And also keep that pin point down. It's gonna come in later. Okay, so, oh yeah, right. Also, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, like, it had constant TV series reboots, but yet again, I wouldn't consider them. But the Michael Bay 2014 reboot of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oh boy, where to start? Okay, first of all, it is a critical disaster. I mean, like, you thought it was gonna say hit? No, it's a critical disaster. Now, shut quiet and let me talk. Listen, the turtles, they just don't look like the turtles. They look like giant men that are green that were mixed up with turtles. Like, they don't look that good. But again, the critics didn't like it, but the movie made what, everybody? Moolah. Because it has basically an A-list director, Michael Bay. Keep it in mind. Keep him in mind. Now, of course, we go to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2016. However, it was sort of better than the original. Make sure it has its fans. But it made less money because it had more nostalgia to keep our nostalgia bone going. Now, of course, they're not gonna go like as far as to like make a full nostalgia movie, but still, they're not gonna make another movie if it doesn't meet the budget. Like, it's gotta make ends meet. Like, it's gotta make like movie magic money. Like this was a box office flop, but people would consider it better than the 2014 reboot. But yet again, Michael Bay's attached to it, so Michael Bay, when you hear his name, you think, ooh, let's go see one of his movies. They're probably good. Moments later, you're gonna be like, well, that was a piece of crap. Okay, what's another catalyst for this? Dun 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 dun, the one you've all been waiting for. Pretty much the movie franchise that gets... You know what? I'm gonna save that for later. Pretty much the movie franchise that gets bashed around the most for being out of the element when it comes to the reboot industry. Michael Bay's Transformer movies. Okay, so brief history on this. Michael Bay wanted to make Transformer movies. Okay, let's use as much money as we possibly can. Okay, first movie made $709.7 million US at the box office worldwide. It was a good movie. It was a good movie. I mean, it's good. It's got its flaws. I mean, it's good. But, of course, Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen. This movie was bad. Bad. But, yet again, has Michael Bay's name on it. You gotta go see it. Yeah, it made more money than the first one. $836.3 million. Yet again, made more money. Transformers Dark of the Moon. Still bad, but was the first Transformers movie to gross $1 billion. $1.1 billion, despite the budget being more than $100 million. Age of Extinction, the one that gets the most criticism from critics and fans. Yet again, it made $1.1 billion at the box office. Yet again, it has Michael Bay's name on it. But the fifth movie, Transformers 5, The Last Night, sadly, it went down to $605.4 million, even though it had Michael Bay's name on it. But still, It made moolah. And the only good movie in this goddamn franchise is based on Bumblebee. And maybe saying, but oh, John Cena's in it. It's obviously gonna make money. Yeah, but my, look at that. It has 90%. It is the only like good Transformers movie. It pays homage to the past. It's a good reboot for like a character. And honestly, as much as they put into it, and while critics did receive well to it, people thought it didn't make any sense. Plus the last night was not that good, so people didn't really come to see it, but they didn't know how good it was. Of course, this ended up in its $400 million box office, $468 million box office review, but it still was going up against a budget of $135 million. Yet again, they had big faith in this movie. But still, it actually went well with the critics. Even though it didn't make that much money, but still, it made good money. But still, they're making more movies. Yeah, Transformers 6, The Rise of the Beasts. We're not out of this hellhole yet. And of course, I could go on for reboots. Like I could talk about more reboots. Like, I couldn't possibly, like, go on forever. But there's one reboot that pretty much everyone knows was so desperate, it had to collaborate with Dude Perfect. Saban's Power Rangers movie. Now, of course, you may think, oh, it's got a good audience score. Yeah, pretty much gave the middle finger to pretty much every single Power Rangers fan ever, because basically it was modernized too much, even though it had some nostalgia behind it. And Rotten Tomatoes says that Power Rangers has neither the campy fun of its TV predecessors nor the blockbuster action of its cinematic superhero competitors, and sadly never quite manages to shift the turbo for some good old-fashioned morphin' time. You see why people hate this? People, you see, they just make reboots just so that people could, like, well, you know, go into the theater. Like, they give you a ticket. It's like giving money to the people that basically, well, you get the idea. Like, they want you to give money. Like if they can't think of something new, like, oh, why don't we just take one of our existing properties, reboot it, and just, well, give it to the public? Easy moolah. I mean, like, yet again, the Animaniacs reboot taps into that. In like one song called Reboot It, Renew It. Now, of course, how did this movie turn out? Well, let's actually look at Power Rangers box office, Power Rangers box office. Okay, it made Oh, no, 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 no. No, no, no. Oh, no, no, no. It made $142.5 million at the box office. But what was its budget? Let's see here. Budget. $105 million US dollars. Yet again, the movie made this much, and it brought back probably only 42. Actually, no. It probably only brought back like 37.5 million dollars back. Like, that's not enough to grant a sequel. Like, that's not enough to, like, give you a sequel. But you know how desperate they were? Okay. I'm not kidding. But this movie released on March 23rd, 2017. Okay. Or in our US time, March 27th. March 27th. Literally 7 days or 3 days before the film's release, and I kid you not, they collaborated with Dude Perfect in a video simply titled Dude Perfect versus Power Rangers. And you're like, oh, that seems like a cool video. But with all great collaborations, just look. And they literally say the date. Okay, scratch that. 4 days before the movie released. 4! People already have seen the trailers. They've already seen the promotional material. They're like, oh, this film's gonna be bad. And literally, they have a link to get tickets. This was like 5 years ago. 5! And yet again, the movie made $142.5 million at the US box office and the worldwide box office. And yet again, it had to go against a $105 million budget. It only brought back $37.5 million. That's not enough to get a sequel, despite it having the gritty look, the action-filled posters, and even the name brand. It's not gonna grant you a sequel because people will not be interested in this type of movie. They will not be interested, even though you have great celebrity talent and a supposedly big marketing campaign, and also possibly make good trailers and good promotional material. Literally, they were so desperate for people to go see their movie that they're literally like, okay, so it's 4 days before our movie releases. How are we gonna make people get in the theater so that way we can make some cha-chang? Collaborate with Dude Perfect because they're one of the most hottest trends of the 2010s. Bingo, we're gonna save the movie. Poor timing. Poor timing. Literally, like, there's a reason why Dude Perfect, like, beat them at, like, every challenge that they threw at them. Like, no wonder why. It was literally a foreshadowing of the movie to come. Also, the link in the description clearly states, click this link to get tickets to the Power Rangers movie. You scumbags. And yet again, this is just like overkill. Like, Hollywood has become like this money hungry beast. And there's no going back. There is no going back from here. We are stuck in the era of reboots. Originality, completely gone. It is completely gone. Completely gone. Well, if you made it this far, then let me give you a quick outro. Because I'm going to go on a bike ride with my dad. Make sure to super smash the subscribe button. And also Atomic Breath, the like button. Also, don't forget to share this video with a friend near you. And also, don't forget to ring-a-ding-ding the notification bell, because that makes sure that you stay up to date with the videos that come out for the recent times. And also, it helps the YouTube algorithm know that you actually view me. So, for now, my fellow Skrills, long live the Skrills. Bye.